Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my family member, friends, loved ones, subscribers and followers out there. Yes, it's Johnny uh, from Johannesburg, South Africa. Once again, it's another week has gone past, and uh, this is the testimonial for 2025, week number 15, is medical injuries. Medical injuries. Yeah, a lot of people's got that problem. We've just reached 200 worldwide patents on these products. So we are climbing every year, seems like, on the patents because we have to protect ourselves on that. So I want to tell you a bit about this little miracle patch. I call it a miracle patch. It's my point of view. It's you just stick it on the back of your neck or on your body at different places, and this little patch starts working for you. What it does, it reactivates your copper peptides in your brain, which in turn activates your stem cells in your body. And every couple of days that you're on this medical patch, you get up to 4,000 new genes, brand new genes in your body. Now, the brand new genes is what fights all your diseases and issues in your body. And without them, what happens when you turn 30? You lose 60% of your stem cells. They go dormant. And when you turn 60, you lose 90% of your stem cells. That's why the older folk out there get all these diseases and issues such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes, arthritis, all that type of thing. It's because they haven't got much stem cells in the body, so there's nothing fighting all that diseases and issues. So guys, please, it's a no-brainer. Like, subscribe and share on my YouTube channel. I've got a YouTube channel there. Subscribe there and you'll get a landing page with over 150 issues and diseases that the medical patch works on. Amazing, isn't it? Basically, people overseas will call it a band-aid or something that you stick on you. We call it a plaster. And you cannot get this product anywhere but from one of us at Lifeways. We do direct sales to the people that need it to keep the prices down so nobody advertises and, puts 100% markups on the product. We sell it, and that's why we can keep the price dirt cheap, right down at the bottom. So that's why we do this type of sales. So, like I say, we've reached over 200 testimonials this week. Not 200 testimonials, 200 patents on this product. So that's why you can't get it anywhere else in the world. No pharmacy will sell it, no chemist or anything like that. You won't find it. You have to get it through one of us at Lifeways, one of the brand partners at Lifeways. If you're interested, we give you a code, and then you can buy it at the wholesale price. There's a couple of different patches like this for different issues, hot flashes, all that type of thing, and for your eyes. There's patches that help for your cornea, that helps for your eyes. So guys, this is a no-brainer. The next slide there will be the testimonial of the week. Somebody that's got medical issues. She's from Florida in the UK, and She'll give you her testimonials. And we've got our upper line, Steve Bennett is also on there. He'll give you some of his testimonials. So there's a couple of testimonials over there. So please watch it. And then the next slide after that will be my presenter of the week is Elmarie Gelderhuis. She's also here from South Africa. She'll present to you how you wear the patch.
Incredible. My testimony is I was on the U.S. ski team for 10 years, pro athlete for 25. After I became a world champion, had 14 surgeries. She's been to every surgery with me. I was living in extreme discomfort, and within 1 week of wearing the X39, I felt better than I had within years, and that's 21 months ago. We both went into the eye doctor. The eye doctor, the same day after wearing the X39 for 4 months, told us both that our eyes reversed and aging, and he's never seen a 60-plus-year-old woman's eyes reverse and aging in his entire years of being in practice. Yeah. Very interesting. So maybe you share your testimonials. Make sure you share the new blood work that you had tested in your gums.
Okay, so anyways, my testimony is my hair is growing thicker, my skin is reversing, my eyes have gotten better, 2 notches better. I don't know how you say it, but 2 grades better. My gums are completely transforming, and I just got a testimony yesterday. I went for a dental cleaning, and she says, can I do the probing? And I'm thinking, oh, brothers, you know. So she starts the probing, and she comes to me and said, what are you doing different? She said, I've been going to this dentist office for probably 40 years, approximately. He practiced for 55 years, and so I've been going probably at least for 40 years. And the hygienist is new. She said, what have you been doing different? She said, your 3s, you know, like when you put the probe down, it goes up 3 notches, are now 2s. Your 2s are 1s, and you hardly have any 1s. What are you doing? And I'm like, wearing this X39 patch every day. So I am so fired up about that testimony. My veins are completely reversing, ladies, from being a flight attendant on my feet for years. No more wiggle legs when I would get in bed, sleeping like a baby, mental clarity off the chart, energy, vitality, insane, guys. I'm telling you, I went and got blood work 2 weeks ago, and they said that my blood work was as if I was a marathon runner. It was the top prestige blood work you possibly could get. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. So that's amazing. Then I also had a bone density test, and it came back that I was 25 years old and I'm 62. So I don't know why you would argue wearing this patch for $3.30 a day. Those are just my testimonies in 22 months, guys. That is absolutely incredible. My testimonies, I can't wait to have more. And I know I will get more, and I'm just super excited to hear your testimony.
I will say that it took her 6 weeks. Is that right?
Yes,
6
I already
weeks.
said that, yeah.
Got it. So I wanted to remind you, she hung in there and stayed there for 6 weeks before she got her first testimony. Okay, so go ahead. We've got a special testimony tonight.
So yes, we have a special testimony tonight, and we've got Lori on here, and I don't want to butcher your name, Lori. Okay, her Zoom username, Lori. I'm so sorry.
Lori Rosen. Let's bring Lori Rosen on tonight. Lori Roos.
It's Rouse like house.
Rouse. Okay. Okay. Can you undo your camera, and then we're going to say your name, where you're from, and tell us what's happened with the X39. There you are.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Rouse. I'm up in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I wish I was down there, but I'm up here. It's so weird. I think I manifested this week because I left my doctor appointment, and I called my sponsor, Gail, and I said, I want to do a testimony. And she said, well, you need to get online and you need to do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then here we are last minute, I get this call, and I'm a fill-in. So bear with me. This was not pre-planned, but anyways, just to get to my story. Last year, I was in a car accident in July. I broke my foot, and it was related to 2 small bones called sesamoid bones on the bottom of your foot. The only real treatment they could do for me, they put me in a boot for 4 weeks, and I went through 4 months worth of physical therapy only to have my physical therapist fire me. And the reason being was that I was not improving enough to where insurance was going to continue to cover it. So they cut me loose. January, I went back to my foot specialist. He took x-rays. No improvement. If anything was worse, and deemed my bones necrotic, which meant dying. Typically in this situation, you live with it, or you can have the bones removed. At that time, he didn't want to do that. In addition to the physical therapy, I went through acupuncture, laser treatments, nothing. In February, I had been scheduled for a second opinion, which took me 2 months to get into. The middle of February, I was 1 week into wearing the patch, maybe 10 days. I went in, second doctor takes x-rays. He said, I don't understand why they could have even missed this. You clearly are not healed. You do have a break. You need surgery. You need joint surgery, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. But throughout this entire period, I was sequestered to a tennis shoe. And my physical therapist said, Lori, you're never going to wear heels again. Very unlikely. So as soon as I left the second opinion, I drove right over to the physical therapist because she referred me to him. And I said, this is what he told me. I don't want to do this. And I said, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I have to show you something. And I pull out my patch and I said, this is what I'm doing. And I don't know if it's going to help. I think it might already be helping. And I'm thinking I'm crazy, right? And she said, 1 minute. So she leaves, she goes to her office, she gets her business card. She said, I want you to keep me updated on this. So I said, seriously? And she said, yes. She said, is this red light therapy? And I said, no. So fast forward this week, I have a follow-up appointment with the original specialist. I walk in and the girl says, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing great. She said, you're doing great? I said, I'm doing great. She said, okay. She said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm wearing this little patch. And I proceed to tell her that it's activated by my own body heat. And it is, I am doing self-care right now, self-healing through photolight therapy that's regenerating my stem cells. She said, what? And she said, what is this called? So she goes over to the computer. She starts looking up LifeWave, and she's like, this is really interesting. So the doctor comes in, we take x-rays, the doctor comes in and he rolls over to my foot and he said, wow, there's no swelling. I said, no. He said, how does it feel? I said, well, I challenge you to find pain right now. And he said, really? And he said, what have you been doing? I said, I've been wearing this patch. And I tell him the story all over again. So he rolls over to the x-ray machine or the screen. And I see him swipe it like I don't know if he didn't think it was mine. He's looking at it. He's looking at the old one. He pulls up July. He pulls up January. He's looking at today. And he turns around and he goes, what are you doing? It was almost like he didn't listen to the first thing I said. So I went through it again. And he's like, this is remarkable. And I said, what do you mean? He said, your bone is fused. He said, you have blood flow in your foot. I said, I believe it. He said, no, this is truly remarkable. He said, can you put me in touch with a direct rep? And I said, you're looking at her. And he said, really? I said, yes. I said, I am so beyond excited right now. I just got back from an 8-day vacation. I wore a heel every day. And I was told I'd never be in a heel. And he said, so you're out of the tennis shoe? I said, yes, I am. And he said, it's truly remarkable. He said, I want to understand the technology better. He said, what do I need to do? I said, well, I'll tell you what. I don't have time carved out. You don't have time carved out for me today. I am going to send you a video on the doctor panel. And then I am going to send you this is it info. and .com, the website. I said, once you have reviewed this, I said, call me. We'll set up a quick call, and we're going to figure out a business plan for you. He said, I have dozens of people that could benefit from this. I said, listen, my boyfriend was like, yeah, right. He wore it on his Achilles tendon that he's 55 and plays basketball like a kid 3 days a week. He's had amazing help. My girlfriend just sprained her ankle. The stories are crazy, but mine was, I don't know that I'm going to bring somebody to tears today, but if I don't excite you over a structural improvement like this in a 60-day time frame, which I felt, and I say this and I felt crazy to say it, but I felt it in 2 weeks. So I am very loyal to this patch, and I could high five a traffic light. I'm so excited, and I feel like I sound crazy, but I'm telling you, everyone who's listening to me right now, this is the real deal. This is it, and it should be called This Is It, because it is. And I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to tell my story. It's amazing.
Thank you, Lori, so much. Amazing. What a great story. And here you're going to sponsor the doctor.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
I had a traumatic brain injury 4 years ago. I fell off a ladder, couldn't see, couldn't do anything. I had to see a neuropsychologist. He does brain mapping. The topography map that you just showed is what he does, and that's how he helped me. I was in the red and the orange. He does his treatment and helped me get to blue and green again. He was absolutely fascinated by this. So I went through the same thing with him. He's doing the same thing. He has his own guinea pig right now that he's working with. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. You got great things happening. We're so excited. See, hey, the product does work, and that is why we named our system This Is It, because this is it, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for popping on real quick. What a blessing. What a great testimony. What a great story, guys. And remember, the patch does not heal, cure, diagnose. You just put the patch on and your body does the work, baby. So, and you know what? Sometimes you don't even feel.
Right. Hello, everyone. You are so welcome here. My name is Almine Geldenees. I am a brand partner of LifeWave. I do not work for LifeWave. I love the products and I share the products, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about this amazing technology. Just getting my script. All right, let's get rolling. So my question to all of you tonight is, have you been patched yet? I started patching 9 months ago, and it has been such a phenomenal journey for me. I'm so thankful I started this journey, and if you are here today listening to me because someone told you you need to come, exactly that happened to me 9 months ago. But I didn't go to the meeting. My friend just said, I went to the meeting. And this is phenomenal. You need to start doing more information. And then afterwards, more information to actually learn what it was all about. But it has blown my mind. I'm a physiotherapist, not working currently as a physiotherapist. But so you will hear me go on and on about the areas that really pertain to that, because I have a deep passion for that. So LifeWave brought to market a little patch that has the technology inside of it to reactivate our stem cells. But more on that a bit later. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about the company. So, LifeWave was established in 2004 already, but for the first 15 years only sold patches other than X39. And tonight our focus is mainly going to be X39. Because you will see, if you look at the stats of this company, that since X39 was launched in 2019, this company had a 3,000% growth to where they're actually projected to have a $1 billion year this year, 2025. So, a product that doesn't do miracles would not help a company see all of this growth. David Schmidt is our inventor of these patches. He is the CEO of LifeWave, and he is a scientist. He actually has over 200, and we're rolling again. Right, so back on the patent. Because this product is so protected with this patent, it means that even if you're considering looking at the business side, and yes, there is even an opportunity to make an additional income with LifeWave, then this is a phenomenal product because of the patents that protect it. But not only do we have patents, but just read the words shown in the slide. Embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, and elevation of antioxidants. So not only do we have these patents, but also research that proves that this patch really does what it says it does. So you can really be comfortable in knowing that there is at least patents and research behind this patch. Okay, why the stem cell reactivation patch? So firstly, I want to get all of you involved. In the comments, type 60 if you're 60 and older, but if you're older than 30 but not yet 60, type a 30 for me. Just want to see who I'm talking to. And if you're busy watching this replay on YouTube or somewhere else, put replay and your number inside the comments. All right, lots of 30s. Okay, so I have horrible news for all of you, even the guys who's typing in 30. When you are 30, you have lost 60% of the activity of your stem cells. So they don't die and go away. They just become old and shriveled and sit in the corner and they don't do anything at all. There's a 60 coming through, Darlene. So when you're 60, you have only about 10% of your stem cell activity, and it becomes less and less and less as you get older. Okay, but why is stem cell activity important, and what do stem cells do? So the New England Journal of Medicine actually says that the number one indicator of wellness is the amount of stem cells that you have in your blood. So the more stem cells you have, the more wellness you have, and the less, the more unwell you are. And we can see that with aging. Even if we're a healthy individual, if we become older and we go over 60 or 70, we start showing signs of aging. We generally have stiff and aching joints. And all of that is just because you really don't have stem cells doing regeneration anymore. So a stem cell is the blank cell inside our bodies. It's the cell that has the ability to become absolutely anything else. So when we are little babies, as an embryo inside the mother's womb, the pluripotent stem cells are the ones to become an eye or skin or a muscle. They know what to go and do. But then after you are born, these pluripotent stem cells continue to have the ability to turn into any cell in your body, anything that you need for any form of recovery. And these are the cells that get woken up and activated the moment we start with this phenomenal, simple technology. Okay, but now you're going to ask me, Almeen, how does this work? So we all actually know about photobiomodulation. Even if you didn't know that you know, you know. Because we all know that when the sun hits our skins, vitamin D gets activated. So there's a chemical reaction that happens inside our skins and inside our bodies to actually react. So the sun shines and there's a reaction. Now, in the case of the patch, we don't work with sunlight, but we work with a reflection. So whether you like it or not, you are emitting light, infrared light, and that is why someone can see you through night vision goggles. It is because you're emitting infrared light. So what this patch does is it actually reflects your own infrared light back into your body. So it's like a little mirror. It's actually small little crystals that reflect the right frequency of light. So that's why it's called phototherapy or photobiomodulation, photo meaning light. So it's a therapy that you get with light reflecting. And it is that little crystal inside that patch is where our patent is. So that is what other people cannot make. So phototherapy or light therapy isn't a new concept. That is something that there's been years and years of research on. And what LifeWave did was just to find a super unique and affordable way with no chemicals inside of it, no drugs. It is non-transdermal, it is non-invasive, and it is just so convenient. And so they found a way to actually give you all of these things that we have for so long known in a way that is groundbreaking. Okay, so when this infrared light actually goes back into your skin, in this case, it's not like the sun, a vitamin that gets activated, but a copper peptide called, copper peptide by GHKCU, for those interested. So, and GHKCU also has a lot of research. Copper peptide is known to be so phenomenally good for our bodies. Okay, how do we wear this patch? We actually buy sleeves that has 30 patches inside of them. So one for every day of the month, because you patch for 12 hours on and then 12 hours off. And this is so that your body doesn't get used to the patch. You can technically put the patch anywhere on your skin. So there's no wrong way to patch. Some people prefer patching where it hurts. Other people want to follow the manual that says behind your neck or underneath your navel. But David Schmidt will tell you, if it's on your skin, it is doing its job. So when we are done, we throw the patch away and we start all over tomorrow. And it's very, very important that you drink plenty of water. So water is necessary not only when you patch, but also in life for communication of ourselves and to be healthy. So to make sure you get the best benefit out of these patches, make sure you are drinking enough water and maybe add some Celtic salts to make sure that that water that you're drinking is really going into the cells and not just flushing through your system. This might be my favorite slide in this whole presentation because it tells you everything that these patches do according to research. So in the first few days already, there's 4,000 genes that resets. And if you didn't know that genes can reset, you have some reading to go do. Within 6 weeks, our brain becomes balanced. And we have beautiful amino acids and things in our brains that we need that is now there, and things that we don't need is being pushed out. Within 3 months, our collagen, which is our most abundant protein in our body, is increased. So all of you who gave me a 30 or a 60 are not making your own collagen anymore if you're not patching. But if you're patching, because your body is actually acting younger now, you can make your own collagen again. And collagen doesn't only make our skins look beautiful and our joints work well, it is around all our organs, and it is so important inside our bodies for so many reasons. But one of the most significant things that we saw is that within 6 months, your heart, your cardiovascular system reverses in age. And so that is why David Schmidt has coined the term that these patches are not anti-aging, they're age reversing. This is literally not something that I have come across ever before learning about these patches, because I have not known, even in the physio world that I moved in, that there was anything that made it possible for my body to become a younger state of itself. And what is really phenomenal is David Schmidt, who is in his 60s now, clinically his heart tests the age of a 35-year-old. Now that is significant age reversal. Some of the other benefits that we see, and so what is important to know is some people see quick results. We call them one patch wonders, and they literally can wear one patch or 7 patches and see phenomenal results. And other people have to be a little bit more patient with their bodies. But what we do see that most people at some point will tell you is that they have increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy, and vitality. Doesn't that already just sound like being a 16-year-old? Mental clarity, it feels like the brain fog lifts. And to me, it almost feels like I have a mental stability that I haven't had in maybe years. restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, and improved skin appearance. Now, it is important to know that these patches are not a medical device. They're not intended to treat or cure any sickness or disease, not intended to diagnose. This is a wellness device that is supposed to give you your wellness and your youth back. And together with that, we are seeing so many testimonies of so many things that is getting better. But we'll get to testimonies in a moment. What is important is that you do commit to at least 90 days of doing these patches. Our bodies take time to heal and recover, and even our blood, if blood cells renew, that takes about 90 to 120 days. So it is only fair that David Schmidt asks you try this for at least 90 days. And if you're not going to try for 90 days, then don't even waste your time and your money. Technically, you should patch for an additional month for every decade that you're old. So for myself being 40, I should actually, at a minimum, do the 3 months plus the 4 months for being 40. And I can tell you that my most significant results only came at 9 months. I'm so thankful I didn't stop at 7. That was supposed to be my minimum. So I want to encourage all of you to actually really patch for as long as you possibly can. This is absolutely phenomenal. So what you're seeing on the screen now is a topography map of a 77-year-old yoga instructor. And I recently actually watched a video where a neuropsychologist said that to get results like we are seeing in the slide usually takes so many sessions and weeks of therapy, where by patching X39, in session 1 you can see more of the redness. In that slide, actually there was inflammation of this lady's brain and there was a lack of brain coherence. And then in 3 weeks already, there's a decrease of inflammation and an increase of brain coherence. And then 6 weeks in, so the session 3 picture, she had a complete turnaround. And I actually went and looked at this research at the different topography maps because we have quite a few of this. And it was so interesting to see how even the left and right brain hemispheres started communicating better. But a little bit more on the beautiful things we are seeing. So in this picture, no, the red is not a good thing. We don't want red on these images. They are usually a sign of illness or inflammation. But you can see that on these scans, after 5 months of patching, there has been a significant improvement in the condition that this person had. In this picture, it's the same. We don't want red. Red is not love in this case. So on this picture, it was only 30 minutes after application of patches in both the torso as well as the hand. And I love this because this is no placebo. This is a proper scan showing you concrete results. And for those of you who love your animals, we may patch our animals, and a lot of people actually, when they're done with their patches, apply it to their animals because there still is some use left in that patch. And look at how beautiful this coat has improved for this horse. And looking at the picture again, you can see the decrease in inflammation, and this was a 4-month duration for this horse. One of the significant things that we saw is with little Poplup. Now, little Poplup, fortunately, we couldn't pay to get these results. So for all of the skeptics out there, look at the short video of how a paralyzed dog starts walking again. Okay, so you most likely saw the back legs are still a little bit stiff, but that's just a sign that it is not another dog, that is the same dog. And yeah, the animal bodies are so open, and they receive the patches actually so very well. All right, and then just beautiful pictures of how you can see light and life coming back into people's eyes. Dr. Stacy, right on the left, has been patching for 3-4 years, I think, at this point, and she literally looks like she is 20 years younger. I mean, if you look at the lady at the top, how the puffiness and how the skin improvement and everything is just, she looks like a different person. And then the bottom 3 slides is 1 year on X39. And so more beautiful results. I can keep you busy this whole night with results. So vitiligo is a skin condition that's not supposed to heal. It's skin cells that die. And look at the improvement that these people have seen. Psoriasis, scars that heal much faster than they normally should, Bell's palsy that the lady already before that waited for some time and saw no improvement, and then when she started patching, she saw the radical improvement. For those of you who know a live blood analysis, this is a 10-minute turnaround with blood looking so much better, and then improvement in swelling and circulation in feet, and every time, not even with using patches that very long, and immense significant improvements. Here you can see scar improvement, and the gentleman with 7 weeks, left bottom of the screen, I mean, his whole skin doesn't even look so wrinkly anymore after that improvement in the bruise and the scar that he had. So we really are seeing with scars and with wounds such phenomenal results. And then hair, people who even have immunological diseases and aren't supposed to have their hair grow back are seeing hair regrowth, or then a photo of just not as much hair loss. My hairdresser couldn't believe the amount of new hair. Actually, the patents, the research, and even more testimonies, all of that can be found on the thisisit.info.com website. So quickly take a screenshot or a photo of this page. Thisisit.info.com is valuable, and it has a whole lot of information. All right, so now,
so to all those skeptical people, this is the power of what, this is what does it. Nothing else. We are not fakes, as you can see. Guys, this is the no-brainer, and it's all thanks to one genius. That's what we call him, a genius. And his name is David Schmidt. He's our founder. He's a scientist, and he's the CEO of Lifeways. So guys, please scan my QR code on the bottom of the video, or on the first slide. It will take you straight to my landing page. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share it. And if you subscribe, you will get these testimonials every week free of charge automatically, of different diseases and issues that we're having around there. There are over 150 diseases and issues. So you can't tell me one of your family members and friends or loved ones don't suffer with one or more of those issues. Guys, it's a no-brainer. This is, like I say, it is a medical patch. This is what does it for everybody out there. We are not fakes. So guys, subscribe and you'll get your testimonials free. And if you see one of issues or diseases that one of your family member, friends or loved ones are suffering with, drop me a message and I'll send you live testimonials of all over the world of the same issue that you want to see, and then you can make your decision. If you're skeptical, the proof is there. I mean, what more do you want us to do? So guys, please hope to hear from you soon. Drop me that message, and I'll get back to you if you need any more information or anything, or if you want to be hooked up to the product. I would be your sponsor on this because you've got to get a code through one of the main partners on Lifeways to join up and because we've got to help you. We've done training on this for many years, and we help you. So thanks for being here. Enjoy the week, and I'll see you next Saturday when I launch the next testimonial. Remember, you'll get it free if you subscribe. Please, we need subscribers to reach billions more people all over the world. Thanks, and see you next week. Enjoy the week, and stay healthy and live younger. Thanks a lot, and bye.